Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And how are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. I had a long day today. I had to drive to Minneapolis. Barely survived. Just kidding. My drive was uneventful, and I basically avoided any of the dangerous areas. I was not robbed. I did not have to give over my wallet and cell phone to a robber. They did not have a cadre of robbers waiting at the entrance to Minneapolis. Although I was kind of hoping to take pictures of something interesting to show you on stream, but there were just homeless people, which is normal for Minneapolis. There's normally a bunch of homeless kind of sitting around. There are tents like on these walkways over Hiawatha Avenue. Very strange. But that's how some people make it, I guess. I think homeless in Minneapolis have to be kind of like mosquitoes in Minnesota, where they just die off in the winter, I guess. I don't know how you live. If I was homeless in Minneapolis, I would spend the entire summer walking south to get to like Texas or something for the winter. That would be my entire life goal. But yeah, I don't know. But some people, they manage it. They come to California. That's a longer walk. I guess better benefits, though. Oh man. I put up a video today as well. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to assume many of you have. It's doing pretty well. So thank you to everybody who has watched it and shared it and liked it and all of that stuff. It's a video about Jeremy Hambly that was supposed to go up yesterday, but I boomered yesterday's recording. So today's recording was a fresh one, a new one with essentially the same information done differently and with a different shirt. And I didn't even include Hambly's video, so I couldn't even possibly boomer the audio. It's differently housed. It's people experiencing homelessness. But yeah, it's I put it out there. Angry Baneling, I will shill it on Twitter tomorrow. It was doing well. Plus I was driving all day, so I didn't spend a ton of time on Twitter. But I'll send it out tomorrow and just remind people that it's there. But it's pretty interesting situation that Hambly has going on there, and some very, very angry people about, angry with Jeremy. And, it's a numbers game. No matter the way here's how I describe the internet numbers game, is that if you have an audience of 2, you have one person on the internet who hates you. That's how it goes. That's it. That's all you need. If you have an audience of 2, one person hates you. So, so that's how that is. But long story short, on that topic, I've seen a couple recurring questions pop up in the comments, so I want to address them real quick. Very, very simple. If you commission art, if you buy something, it's yours. It's your art. Unless you have a specific license agreement that says otherwise, you're buying the art and it's your right at that point to distribute it and to do it in a certain way. So some people bring up that Hambly bought the articles, that he bought the logo and stuff like that. Yeah, he bought them. And presumably those rights to the articles and the logos were transferred to him upon that purchase. And that's fine. That's how a lot of this works. People, oftentimes all of these celebrities and politicians are not all good writers. I'm gonna break the thing here. Hey, what's up, Ty? How's it going, man? Oh, Ty, I got a question for you. I just need you to pass a message along to someone very ominous. Has nothing to do with the Vic case before anybody gets any weird stuff going on. But I'll send it to you. So, just ran a Call of Cthulhu RPG for my daughters and their friends. Their friends are like their friends. You know what I mean? Which one was it? Did you kill them with some sort of eldritch horror? Was it a total party kill? I hope so. Boyfriends. I knew it. I knew it. I hope you killed them with an eldritch horror. But anyway. Oh, where was I going with this? What was I talking about? I don't even remember. It doesn't. Oh, yeah. If you buy something outside of a specific license agreement, you're usually buying the work for you. So, yeah, someone else wrote the articles on the website. I don't think that was ever in question, but Jeremy owns those articles unless they set up a license agreement where he was only licensing the articles. I don't think that's the case. Same thing with the art and, all of that stuff. But it doesn't really matter. Those things will all be hashed out by the court. But generally, if people are questioning whether or not he has the right to keep those and whether or not he can buy an article and not publish it, for example, yeah, he can do that. Lots of that stuff. Oh, I was saying, all these books, politicians, celebrities, they're not actually all good writers. They're not actually all capable of even forming coherent sentences in written form. When you see all these books coming out from famous people, oftentimes they have purchased the work from someone else. They've given someone a giant stack of notes and a rather embarrassing amount of money. And by embarrassing, I mean embarrassingly low. And some grad student struggling through the Iowa writing program or whatever is writing that book for them. And they will get nothing out of it. The politician will reap the benefits of that book. But, or the celebrity or whomever. Lots of ghostwriting occurs all over the place. And the ghost writer in those cases is often under a non-disclosure agreement to even talk about their time writing it. So it's, that's an extra step that goes into that contract as well. But, my point is, oftentimes people buy written work or artwork and then it is sold as theirs. It's not a misrepresentation. They're selling something that they own. They purchased the rights to it. So anyway, I just wanted to make those sorts of things very clear. It's just stuff I see in the comments. I want to address it from time to time. Oh, man. So what else? We had that Chauvin video yesterday. That was pretty cool, watching the Chauvin videos. Chauvin Floyd. It's like Schadenfreude or whatever. The Chauvin Floyd was pretty thick. And it was interesting to watch the interactions. And again, I think what the videos are showing so far is that the three cops who are not Derek Chauvin probably shouldn't be charged. They don't seem to be aiding or abetting the criminal act in any sort of real way. There's actually some evidence on there that maybe they weren't aiding or abetting, that they were questioning the act or trying to maybe offer an alternative solution. And I think it's going to be very hard to pin those guys with any severe charges. Chauvin, on the other hand, I think, man, that dude is looking really hard at a third-degree murder charge. And it'll be very interesting to see what defenses he raises. So, so there's that. Oh, I have a thank you to give. I got a mysterious package in the mail. No, David Z, no. Ryan Reynolds is not effing up his chances for Deadpool 3. The story about Ryan Reynolds is just stupid. And it's him being stupid. But he's just being a celebrity. So I'm being redundant there. But okay, I got a mysterious package in the mail, and I wanted to thank Short Round. It came from Short Round, and it is a matching plate carrier for lady rackets. This is from Uprise Armory. They have all sorts of cool stuff. We got this thing actually fitted down around Lady Rackets' slender figure, and that was funny because then anyway, it would just became interestingly difficult to take off. But it's Uprise Armory, uprisearmory.com. You can buy all sorts of cool stuff from them. You can buy plate carriers. You can buy plates. You can buy clothing. You can buy boogaloo attire, helmets. There's some flags. Hold on. I gotta show you guys this. Oh no. There's some flags here that you guys gotta see. These are great. Here we go. Let me move this over. We got some flags here. We've got Don't Touch Rolf's Tractor. That's a Killdozer flag, guys. Oh my goodness. We've got that one. We've got what's this? St. Fisher Church of EBM. I'm not actually familiar with this meme. The Valley of Evidence-Based Medicine. I don't know what this is. I'm not familiar with that one. We've got, I don't know what this SWAT Tag 5. Oh, this is like tactical headset. That's cool. That's an expensive piece. So that's not meme, that's real. And then this is the ATF dive team. Only 20 of these up for grabs right now. Find this deal like Hillary Clinton finds accident-prone people. So here's the ATF dive team. Looks like a patch that can go on a patch holder. So you got that. But they have all sorts of stuff. They have do they have other flags? Oh, they've got other flags. They've got your Boogaloo Aloha line flag. Oh, look at this. Why is my scroll bar not working? They do have the Rekieta law free speech flag. Speech is free, lawyers aren't. This is acquirable. I actually have one. It's supposed to get hung up, but I've been lazy and slow in getting my sound paneling up. So it's going to go over there. Hey, what's up? Good night, Ty. Catch you later. So they have, various other flags. They've got this forward together flag. So I don't know what's even happening here. Thick enough to make Sir Mix-a-Lot say damn. What? Double-sided, triple layer, and 100% united for individual liberty. So I guess, I've got this stupid thumbnail up. There we go. I'll get rid of that. But you've got the 26 colonies flag. This seems very Hawaiian themed. Ready to show your founding father's pride? Get our 26 colonies flag to kick it old school like Will Ferrell streaking. But anyway, lots of stuff that they have. The link here, I'll put it on. Oh wait, that's a different site. So it's Uprise Armory. UpriseArmory.com is the main site. So I just put it in the chat, and then they have the plate carriers, ballistic plates, clothing as well. So you can get your Liberty for All button-up shirt. You can get your your Fed shirt, hoodies, combat shirts, your squatting Slav combat shirt. Sorry. Whew. Yeah, all sorts of great stuff. Check it out, guys. Short Round is a great dude. Makes some great stuff. Offers some great stuff. So go ahead and get your boog on or whatever. With that. UpriseArmory.com, and the meme store is the redacted merch over here. You can get to, but check it out. If you like something, buy something. Are they grandmother approved? Guys, there's an update. I forgot to put this in the description. There's an update on Grandma's Boy getting arrested. Let me find it real quick. Oh, wait. I think it was in a Tim Pool video, so I don't have... I don't think I actually have a specific thing. Was this a Tim Pool video? Hold on, let me check. Yeah. Oh, but there's a New York Post article. There we go. Let me find that. This is an update on the, the grandma got her little schnookums arrested with her review for his tactical vest. Turns out Trump-loving grandma outs Portland bomber to feds, and it's her own grandson. Shortly after midnight on Tuesday morning, videos capture the moment. Yeah. That was the bombing. A Trump-loving 69-year-old woman soon stepped forward to out the suspect publicly as her own grandson. Carla Fox says she recognized the alleged bomber as her daughter's son, 18-year-old Gabriel Agard Berryhill. In the hours after the IED attack, social media users analyzed videos showing a slim male wearing a distinctive olive vest with the words icons printed on it, throwing something over the fence. Seconds later, a large explosion erupts. And then Fox identified her grandson because she gave him the vest. Fox, this lady, Carla Fox, not Fox News. I bought the vest for him after he found one online after getting hit with rubber bullets the night before the protest. I got this for my grandson, who's a protester downtown. He uses it every night and says it does the job. And then seemed to confess to misguided involvement in the incident in text messages to the Post on Thursday, although he did not confirm he was the bomber. The device I've been using, accused of allegedly throwing, was allegedly given to me by an unknown protester with full face coverings, he wrote. I was allegedly told that it was a strobe firework that wouldn't damage the building or harm anyone around it. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I don't even like you, but shut up! Shut up! What are you doing? In text? In text messages? To a newspaper? Shut up! Shut up! Shut up, shut up, shut up! Can you believe this idiot? I haven't read this story. So I didn't know this was in here. I just know about the story. Law enforcement has not contacted me for any alleged crime as of right now. I'm pretty sure he was arrested, though. Now. He's charged. He's Fed charged. He's Fed charged. Maybe because of this. What an idiot. Late that same night, told his probation officer he wanted to turn himself in. He was arrested by U.S. Marshals and booked. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Here's what we got. Fox says when she last saw her grandson last week, he said that he was peacefully protesting and protected a girl. A man in the same vest, identified as Rico in the affidavit, appears in a viral July 18 video using a shield to protect a nude protester dubbed Naked Athena. I believed all his stories, Fox says. He said he was just hanging out at Riot Ribs, an anarchist food co-op, and doing peaceful things. I don't condone any of this. I'm amazed at all these events. She said in her last communication via text with her grandson, he asked her to delete the photo of him wearing the vest and to remove her comment about the purchase. Bet he did. Posting under the Twitter handle Trump's Girl 2020, Fox tweeted a response to an article with his photo. This is my only grandson. I love him to death and didn't know he was going to do such a bad thing. I had been posting several things about the Antifa and Black Lives Matter. He knows I'm against these riots big time. He chose his poison. Dang. Ouch. Oh, base grandma. Base grandma. So, currently on probation for a felony conviction when he was a minor. Said he spent the past 2 years at Rogue Valley Youth Correctional Facility in Southern Oregon and recently talked of turning his life around and getting a job at Amazon. Not no more. Not no more. That's proper English now. Not no more. So anyway, he's done in. Grandma outs him. Grandma doesn't approve. Grandma wouldn't take it down. Maybe don't lie to your grandma. Like don't lie about peacefully protesting. But this, let's take him at his words, right? Oh, I was just given a thing to throw by someone. I had no idea what it was, just a strobe grenade or whatever. I just threw that. Let's say this dummy actually was being honest with his grandma and that he was just hanging out at this rib place and he was just peacefully protesting with some anarchy ribs or whatever. Anarchy ribs are the best ribs. And that's what he was doing. Maybe that's all he ever intended to do. But this is why we shouldn't be so hasty to draw distinctions between the peaceful protesters and the violent mob. The whole point of a violent mob is that it's a mob. They're behaving erratically. They're engaging in group behavior that they might not otherwise do. So peaceful protests very quickly, and you should remember this for your own safety more than just about anything, they very quickly can turn into a mob. So even if he had every intention of being a peaceful protester, he went from peaceful protester to extremely violent rioter in about 1 second. And all it took was some guy going, here, throw this shady-looking grenade-like device at the Fed building. Oh, yeah, this seems like a strobe light. That's every discotheque I've ever been to has tossable fused strobe lights. I just have to light the strobe light. That's how you do it. It's propane-powered strobe lighting that you have to light the wick and throw as far away as possible. That's the plan. So, anyway, so this guy got toasted by Graham, and nothing could have been better in that story. That's just a loving end. You hate to see it, though. Like, because you know that this old lady likes this kid, and she's trying to give him the benefit of the doubt and all this stuff, but at some point, you have to stop protecting people who are engaged in routinely bad behavior, because if you shelter them from it, they'll just keep doing it. It's the same with addiction, jail convictions. Like, you really want to help out your family who are doing these bad things or falling on hard times and stuff, but at some point you have to just go, you know what? You got to fall. Like, you've got to fall all the way down this time. Otherwise, you're not going to get the sting of the smack. And then you're going to get up and you're just going to do it again if you don't have to face a consequence. So anyway, that's that story. I thought that might just bring a smile to your face. Let me get this super chat. Gimme Skittles Now says, do you take Trump's tweet about delaying the election seriously? And that kind of goes into our next topic, which is Trump staying in the White House. I don't know. I didn't even see Trump's tweet. I saw a bunch of people reacting to Trump's statement that maybe we should delay the election due to the coronavirus. I don't know how long he wants to delay the election, but I think he could delay it until maybe December, theoretically. I don't know or care if Trump wants to delay the election. That seems like the Supreme Court would have a very quick path to answering the question of whether or not he could. Can he do it? States tend to be in charge of their elections and how they do it, but I believe there is an election date being the first Tuesday in November, or an election formula for the date. And then the interesting thing, though, is that votes aren't actually cast officially for the election until sometime in December, when the electors cast their votes. And we're no longer in the late 1700s. We actually can collect all of the votes, tally them up, and know who will win the election within really 48 hours, generally speaking. Outside of razor-thin margins, we know who's going to win an election within 48 hours of the vote starting. So is there a problem with delaying the election? It would depend how long it is. I don't know. But again, until he actually does it, I'm not concerned about what Trump tweets. Let me clarify with that. As for me, no, I'm not concerned. However, is everybody else on Earth concerned? Let's take a look. We've got this one. Look at this headline. Son of a... Hold on. I opened it in my YouTube window. That was dumb. Let me do this here. Look at this flipping headline we have here. Very, very inflammatory. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I've got mobile versions of all this. This is from the UK Independent, which I don't know why the UK Independent is telling me what happens. But here we go. Look at the headline. Trump will use emergency powers to remain in White House if he loses election, says House Majority Whip. Like, that's a ballsy headline. President has previously floated idea of delaying 2020 vote. Now, did Donald Trump say he will use emergency powers to remain in the White House if he loses the election? I don't think so. Instead, James Clyburn, the Democrat House Majority Whip, has said he believes Trump will do that. But look at how they phrased it, that was gonna happen. There's a legitimate question about whether or not Trump could use emergency powers. And again, it's one of these things like delaying the election. Musing about it is mildly interesting, but until he actually tries it, we need to stop. We got to stop saying what Trump will and won't do. But let's take a look at what the theory is from genius James Clyburn. Go away. Donald Trump could use emergency powers to extend his term in the White House, a senior Democrat has said, as fears grow that the president may attempt to hold on to office should he lose November's election. Fear, fear, fear. All they have is fear. All these people have is fear. It's just fear. They must instill as much fear as possible. They have to. If they can't get people afraid, they can't get rid of Trump. They have to do it. Why would you even float that? A Democrat, so someone who's not the president is suggesting that the president could do this. But what authority is Clyburn citing for this? Let's see if there's any legal authority or any constitutional authority that Clyburn has to support his supposition. James Clyburn, the House Majority Whip, says he believes Trump has no intention of peacefully transferring power to presumptive Democratic candidate Joe Biden, who is well ahead in several major polls in the race for the Oval Office. God, it already sounds like 2016, doesn't it? Joe Biden's already won this election. As far as every news outlet is concerned, Trump has lost the election for this year in 2014. I don't think he plans to leave the White House, Mr. Clyburn, the Democratic rep for South Carolina, told CNN on Sunday. He doesn't plan to have fair and unfettered elections. I believe that he plans to install himself in some kind of emergency way to continue to hold office. Wait, what? Last week, Mr. Trump floated the idea of delaying the upcoming election amid the coronavirus crisis, suggesting that the vote should be postponed until people can properly, securely, and safely vote? ? I mean, is he suggesting that if he's asking it as a question? I don't know. In a message posted on his Twitter page, the president also claimed the 2020 election could fall foul to voter fraud, with millions of Americans set to cast their ballots via postal services due to the coronavirus. And, yes, mail-in voting is, I believe, the largest source of election fraud, if I'm not mistaken. The only problem with doing election fraud by mail-in voting is there's so little mail-in votes done normally. But we're about to have an election with like all of the voting done by mail. That doesn't necessarily mean that there will be a sufficient enough amount of fraud to go ahead and derail the election, but there could be. There are questions about it, and we do not, as a country, deal with election fraud in any way. We have laws about it. There's severe laws, and we just like, whatever. Who cares if you went to 3 different counties to vote? But experts have since cast doubt on those claims, citing previous research showing that voter fraud in the U.S. is extremely rare. Oh, yes. Yes, research that voter fraud is extremely rare. Do we have to get into it? Do we have to talk about how hard it is to actually research voter fraud in the U.S.? Like, it's a near impossible thing. You don't have to show ID. In many counties, you barely have to even affirm that you're there. If someone signs your name in your spot, you're just supposed to sign your name next to it. And then we don't know what ballot was attached to what person. In fact, there's basically zero way outside of an overt admission to verify any voter fraud at all. It's just the way we do voting doesn't lend itself to actually tracking voter fraud. It doesn't at all. So this is dumb. 2 studies by Arizona State University in 2012 and 2016 found only 10 cases of voter impersonation fraud nationwide from 2000 to 2012. Yes, only 10 cases. Because it's impossible. It's impossible. Are we to honestly believe there's something like what? 90 million votes cast. Let's see how many votes were cast in number of votes. Number of presidential votes, 2000. 2000. Oh, just 100 million people voted. All right. It is an absurdity to suggest that in 100 million votes, there were 10 fraudulent votes. But that's not just that election. There are 4 elections covered. So they're saying that in 400 million votes, in just 400 million votes, assuming roughly equal voting numbers, about 100 million every election. In just those 400 million votes, so there were 10 cases, but only 10 times. That is such an underestimation as to be facially ludicrous. An error rate of 10 in 400 million is impossible. Like it's impossible. I can't. But don't worry, Arizona State University is on the case. William Hastings says, new book, Nikki. So hype even you might be able to stay awake. Vatican Championship Wrestling. Funding now on Indiegogo. Exorcist infiltrates WWE to expel a demon and save his friend. It's fun. It's stupid. Check it out, guys. Hey, guys, check that out if you're interested. Vatican Championship Wrestling on Indiegogo. Sounds like a hoot. Sounds like a hoot. You want. Oh, my goodness. The president has also repeatedly claimed falsely that he would have beaten former rival Hillary Clinton in the 2016 popular vote were it not for the millions of people who voted illegally. How's that a false claim? Like, have we shown that millions of people didn't vote illegally? It's not a false claim either way. It's just supposition by Trump, and it's supposition by people who are opposed to Trump that it's not true. You can't measure it. It's immeasurable. You don't know how to do it. We have no idea how many people who voted in California, for example, voted legally versus illegally. There is no tracking. There's none of it. A subsequent analysis of 2016 voting data by the Washington Post found just 4 cases of voter fraud. Again, 4 in 100 million. That says that U.S. voting is the most accurate thing ever. We have scientists arguing that when you add 2 and 2, you get 5. But we're saying that our voting system is accurate to 4 out of 100 million. We can't measure 2, but we can measure. Whew. Yes. Those 4 cases included 3 people who attempted to vote for Trump twice, according to the Post. Oh, man. It's amazing. It's amazing. 3 out of 4 fraud cases. 3 out of 4 fraud cases are in favor of Donald Trump. These idiots. Lawmakers across Capitol Hill, including many prominent Republicans, have slapped down the suggestion that the election could be delayed. Marco Rubio said, small hands on Marco, said he can suggest whatever he wants. The law is what it is. Any move to delay the 2020 election will require an act of Congress, meaning both the Senate and the House of Representatives, where the Democrats have a majority, would need to sign off on it. I don't know if that's actually true. Let's see. Let's see if we can. Let's go to Article 2. I don't have the Constitution literally memorized, so I want to see. Let's see what it says about voting. All right. Each state shall appoint in a manner as the legislature thereof may direct a number of electors equal to the whole number of senators and representatives to which the state may be entitled in the Congress, but no senator, representative, or person holding an office of trust or profit shall be appointed an elector. The electors shall meet in their respective states and vote by ballot for 2 persons, one of whom one at least shall not be an inhabitant of the same state with themselves, and they shall make a list of all the persons voted for and the number of votes for each. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Okay. In choosing the president, votes shall be taken by states. The representatives from each state having 1 vote, a quorum for this purpose. Okay, this is boring. Congress. Oh, yeah, here we go. So the Congress may determine the time of choosing the electors and the day on which they shall give their votes, which day shall be the same throughout the United States. Okay, cool. So Congress gets to determine it. Congress gets to determine a lot of things. I wonder, though, if they've delegated that authority in any way under the Federal Election Commission. I don't know. It would be interesting to see if they do have any sort of thing. I'll have to look into it. But it is under the plenary authority of Congress to determine the time of choosing the electors and the day on which they shall give their votes. So that is cool. But I wonder, again, you always have to wonder if they've ever delegated that authority back to the executive in any way, because they do have a Federal Election Commission. They have election laws, and those laws may allow for something like it. Again, I don't think that there's any serious move to move the voting date. Maybe Trump meant it. Maybe Trump was trying to make more of a political point than that, especially with everything being shut down in these states. But they're gonna have some sort of voting going on. So I'd be willing to bet a bottle of whiskey that Congress doesn't know if they've delegated it. Again, but here'd be the question, right? The president declares the state. You'd not only have to check whether Congress has ever delegated that authority, you'd have to check if under the emergency powers that Congress has vested in the president, if he would somehow be able to make an argument that he got it there as well. There's so many different places that this could happen. Be interesting. But again, I don't think we should move the election. I don't think we should have any restrictions on the election. Get everybody stand in line, then everybody can vote, and everyone can die from COVID. Finally. If everybody just died from COVID, we'd get over it. On Sunday, advisors shut down Mr. Trump's suggestion that the vote could be delayed and sought to portray a confident mood within the president's re-election campaign team, despite dire polling readings. We're going to hold an election on 3rd November, and the president is going to win, Mr. Trump's White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows told CBS on Sunday. President trails Mr. Biden in a host of major polls, with data showing that he is behind in many of the states he must win to retain office. Mr. Trump's team continues to play down the significance of polling, pointing out that Hillary Clinton was well ahead at a similar point in the 2016 race. But it is the scale of Mr. Biden's lead over Trump that has led experts to predict that Mr. Biden will prevail in November's contest. All the same people who predicted Hillary, right? Like, it's the same experts. A number of polls, including those by Emerson, YouGov, CNBC, and The Hill, give the Democrat politician a lead of 7 points or more. So that's this. So this is the first thing, right? Now notice, this is how the media and politicians, left or right, this is how they operate. I'm going to bring up another story that's related to this, because I found this to be funny, especially in the context of that story. So, look at where we've progressed to now. CNN's April Ryan cannot wait to see armed forces pull Trump out of the White House. Ryan believes Trump will refuse to leave office if he loses to Biden. What are they basing this on? What are they basing this on? I mean, what? Let's see here. Whew. CNN political analyst April Ryan declared she cannot wait to see President Trump forcefully removed from the White House by police and armed forces if he loses his bid for re-election. What, pumpkin, sugar, sweet pea, honey cheeks? What authority is there for anyone to remove a president from the White House? Like, who does it? She says, armed forces and police. If the president doesn't hand over power, to Joe Biden, does Joe Biden become the commander-in-chief of the armed forces? Maybe. Maybe not. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. Police? What police? City police of Washington, D.C.? Are they going to do it? Are the Washington, D.C. police going to storm the White House? Again, not that simple. Maybe you'll have a police versus armed forces standoff in which the commander-in-chief declares his emergency powers, contests the validity of the election, says that there was rampant fraud. Oh, no. Okay. It's not me. I'm showing like the stream lagging or something. Is that happening? I don't know. It's just lagging on my end. Okay. Just making sure. I'm glad it's not on your end. I did notice a distinct lack of F's and you stupid boomer and buy better internet in the chat. So, okay. Good. All right. This is a more complicated question than anyone ever wants to be comfortable making it out to be. The function of our government in the United States for the past 250 years has operated largely on gentlemanly agreements. And the real flexes of power haven't been tested. But when the president flexes his power, he wins a lot more than we care to admit. When FDR flexed on the Supreme Court Court's decisions turned the opposite of what they were, like that. Boom, done. When FDR said, "You stop tearing down the New Deal, or I'm going to just appoint 10 judges, and you guys won't be relevant anymore." The Supreme Court buckled immediately. Immediately. And we got left with a bunch of shit decisions. When Andrew Jackson flexed on the Supreme Court and said, "I just refuse to acknowledge your order." What happened? What's happening right now with DACA? President Trump just said no. Just said no to the court. Have more guns. Piss off. This is stupid. I don't know if President Trump has ever unblocked people on Twitter. The court said he can't block people on Twitter, but I think he might still have people blocked. I don't even know. When the president has flexed throughout history, they don't do it very often. They win a lot of times. They cause trouble every time. In fact, when Nixon was about to be impeached, they were really, really concerned over what happens. And President Nixon was a strongman president, a wartime president. He had the armed forces. He was very, very popular. Even after the Watergate scandal, they were concerned. They were very concerned that he just wouldn't leave. And they didn't know what they would do about it. They're actually kind of afraid. What if he just orders the army to arrest us for treason? What if that happens? This is a big what if. Like, they're playing with this weird idea that everybody agrees with them and nobody would agree with the president. I certainly don't want to see the results of this, but it would be a mess, man. It would be a mess. The idea that a president not leaving peacefully will get hauled out by police, that's That's a strong idea. Good luck with it. I don't know. I don't want to find out what happens, to be very clear. I don't want to see it. It'd be interesting, but I don't want to see it. The real question would be, because, you know, he's not just going to go, I lost fair and square, I'm not leaving. Wah. That's how they picture it, right? That's how they picture this going down, is admitting the loss but staying anyway. No, I'm going to stay anyway. It wouldn't be like that. It wouldn't be like that. He would have legal opinions. He would have research. He would have several organizations probably independently alleging some sort of election fraud. This coronavirus is a perfect medium for that. And you're going to say they had a free and fair election on one side, and the other side's going to say, no, there isn't. And until the Federal Election Committee authorizes and gives its stamp of approval that no significant amounts of fraud have occurred, blah, 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 we're not going to leave. It would be a devastating move. The stock markets would be in extreme peril at that point. Tensions would go through the roof. We would have some sort of civil Cold War, if not a civil hot war. It would be a mess. But that's how it happens. It wouldn't be they always picture the president, President Trump specifically, as a child, as a toddler, throwing a tantrum. They literally picture him as a young child throwing a tantrum whenever he does something that they don't like. That's how they act. You know, you've talked to people, your friends, family members, or whoever, who picture him in exactly this way, forgetting that this is a billionaire who is the president of the United States. He's a well-accomplished individual, suggesting that this is some dummy 5-year-old. Like, you can say he's crude, crass. You can say you don't like him. That's all fine. Calling anyone with his list of achievements an idiot, you're taking a step. You're taking a step there that might not be borne out by evidence. And if you do that, you're going to underestimate the situation. That's my point in this. Like, it's not going to be a temper tantrum, I don't want to leave. It would be a sophisticated reason for not wanting to leave, backed up by probably significant legal opinions, as well as a whole lot of organizations that they would be mobilizing to support them. At least that's what I would do. I would not be like, no, I'm making a sandwich in the White House kitchen. You can't kick me out. Squatters' rights. COVID, no evictions. That's it. Oh, no, I'm just wrong. No evictions during COVID. The cops can't come in and clear him out. The man's got a home. You can't take a man from his home during COVID. You guys told us. No evictions. Can't charge him rent either. Very unfair. She says, there's going to be a split screen on January 20th, 2021. If Joe Biden is now going to be the 46th president of the United States, you will have him being inaugurated and watching police and armed forces trying to pull Donald Trump out of the White House. I cannot wait for that split screen, Ryan said. Ryan, you can't wait for that? Does she know what would happen? Does this dummy know? Did President Trump prosecute Hillary Clinton? Let's just get this question out of the way. Did President Trump prosecute Hillary Clinton? No. When Trump even breathed the suggestion that she might have to pay for her criminal acts, what happened? Everyone lost their damn minds about it. Everybody in the media, he can't say that. He can't say that she should be in jail or she would be in jail. He can't say that. He can't do that. Can't do that. Oh my God. We don't do that in this country. We don't use police actions against our opponents. Now, I can't wait for it. Do they know? And this is what I said at the time. I said, I'm not really comfortable with that. I'm not really comfortable with that. This is how the perpetual civil war countries in Africa deal with their political opponents is they beat them and then they put them in prison. That's how they roll. That's what causes a bunch of ongoing civil wars. I don't want to really see that in the U.S. personally. So I wasn't really a fan of Trump saying that. I don't think he said that he was going to put her in prison. That's a little bit of a step beyond what he said. But at the same time, like, guys, yeah, I know a lot of people clapped and cheered. And it's like, okay, you can clap and cheer, but keep in mind, we don't do this to our political opponents for a very good reason. For a very good reason. Same thing here. Like the idea that you would show America their president of 4 years being hauled out of the White House by police. You don't think that would cause some trouble in the nation? That would be the dumbest thing you could do. The absolute dumbest thing you could do. Hillary Clinton, Rep. Maxine Waters. Notice that they don't have Hillary Clinton listed as, Democrat. That's weird. I guess because she's not actually elected at this point. Rep. Maxine Waters and Rep. James Clyburn have also recently expressed concern that Trump will refuse to leave the White House if he loses the election, with many prominent liberals claiming Trump's rhetoric dismissing mail-in ballots as the foundation of the theory. Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany told Outnumbered Overtime last month she found it comical that top Democrats have suggested the president may not leave office if he loses his bid for re-election in November. Quote, "It's quite comical to watch the Democrat Party talk about not accepting the results of the election," McEnany said, "because the only people who haven't accepted the results of elections are people in the Democrat Party, like Hillary Clinton, who blamed her loss on, I think it was something like 24 different entities, never blaming herself." That chick's quite good at her job, by the way. She's funny. Fox News host Harris Faulkner pointed out that Trump had told her in a recent interview that he would leave office in January 2021 if the election doesn't go his way, saying, "Certainly if I don't win, I don't win." The theory is nothing new, as many members of the mainstream media made similar predictions in 2019 when the Mueller probe didn't force Trump out of office. MSNBC's Joy Reid speculated last year Trump doesn't have any intention of committing to a peaceful transition of power, while CNN's editor-at-large Chris Cillizza was once ridiculed for tweeting a link to a fictional column he wrote about what would happen if Trump refuses to admit he loses in 2020. We know what happens if a presidential candidate refuses to admit that they lost. We saw it with Hillary. We saw it with Al Gore. We saw it with John Kerry, right? we keep seeing it over and over. It's kind of like every time that a Democrat has lost an election in the past 2 decades, they've all decided that they couldn't possibly have lost. It must have been cheating. These people. Silver Rock 2016 says, "This is me saying sorry for my bad joke. Last super chat. It apparently and upset some in the chat, so now you get more money. Look, you can pay me to apologize anytime you want." But so this is it. There's an interesting question, though. There really is an interesting question. Who evicts a president from the White House? What does it look like? Presumably, a newly inaugurated president would have control of the armed forces and would order him out and order him removed if he refused to leave. Presumably. Practically, things always get different when they get practical. Theoretical to practical. That's the Ultra Smurfs. Theoretical. President Trump doesn't want to leave the White House. Practical. We've got a civil war now. That's the practical. So, oh my goodness. What a disaster. What a disaster these people are. Did you see the New York Times article that every Republican victory aside from Nixon Reagan's landslide weren't legitimate? No, I only see New York Times articles when I'm looking up stuff for the show. This is let's get to this Ryan Reynolds story is good. By the way, guys, I wanted to announce it. Phoenix Lord Asserman suggested last night that the first movie we watch tonight be Lone Wolf McQuade. Lone Wolf McQuade, which is Chuck Norris movie. So that's what we will be watching tonight on twitch.tv/Rekieta Law following this broadcast. Lone Wolf McQuade. So this has nothing, Ryan Reynolds has nothing to do with Deadpool, comics, movie casting, or anything like that. It has everything to do with him. You just have to see it. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively deeply and unreservedly sorry for plantation wedding. They're apologizing for having their wedding at a plantation in 2012. In 2012, 8 years ago. And just to be clear, there were not slaves currently working on the plantation. I'm not aware of anyone operating the cotton gin or anything. Look at these. What the hell is happening to these people? My God, grow anything. I guess a spine is where you start. Do you need a spine or testicles first? I don't know. Hold on. I do know that I need some High West whiskey. You can't be in Hollywood anymore. I'm convinced you just can't be in it. You can't be in Hollywood unless you're a pedophile, and you can't be, or you're the pedophiled, right? Or you have to be just a complete hollow NPC sellout who will apologize for literally everything. Ryan Reynolds says he and his wife, Blake Lively, still feel sorry about holding their 2012 wedding on a former plantation in South Carolina. Why? It's just... Are they honoring the slavery culture of South Carolina? Like, is it a plantation dedicated to shackles? Like, what? Shimmies and Shackles Plantation. The history of dancing while encumbered. What is this? Like, it's a place. It's a place. The topic came up during the Deadpool star's recent interview with Fast Company. The publication noted that Reynolds was criticized as hypocritical in 2018 after he tweeted his support of the blockbuster film Black Panther, which has been hailed for its black cast and representation in the superhero movie genre. One of my favorite superhero movies, unironically. You know why? Because of the ethno-state and closed borders of Black Panther is the funniest bit of irony that Marvel could throw in there. It's the funniest thing Marvel has done maybe ever. They just decided, they're like, oh, look, black people with super ninja technology hide completely, remove themselves from the world, have an ethno-state, and are so nationalistic that they won't even share their miracle energy sources and technology with the poorest, worst conditioned nations on Earth that surround it. Wakanda forever. Here you have people with unlimited energy that's clean, that's cheap, medical science that can cure literally everything. It can bring people back from the dead. And then right outside their magical illusion barrier of radiation or whatever that they clearly stole from Ayn Rand. By the way, black people, Elvis may have stolen your music, but you stole our radiation energy camouflage shield. A white Jew lady invented that and put it in Atlas Shrugged, and you stole it and put it in Wakanda. Anyway, so right on the other side of that, AIDS. Just AIDS everywhere. People with AIDS flopping all over the place, dying from rhinoceros gorings and elephant tramplings, AIDS and rhinos all over the place. Wakanda could fix all of it. They could fix all of it. Nope. Get out. We don't even care. This is our Wakanda. I love that movie. It's great. Every movie should be like that. It's the funniest thing I can, like, why didn't they didn't think about this or whatever? They didn't think that this was a problem. Oh, God. Reynolds told Fast Company that having their wedding at Boone Hall, a former plantation in South Carolina, is, quote, something we'll always be deeply and unreservedly sorry for. Okay. Why? Did you only hire white people? Did you hire white people to enslave black people? What did you do? It's impossible to reconcile. You don't have to. You don't have to reconcile it. You just picked a location that was pretty and could was a venue that could provide the services for the number of people that you wanted. That's it. Like, does anybody think that Ryan Reynolds was like, you know what, honey, for our wedding day, what we really want to do is honor the oppression of blacks and the splitting of black families through the slave trade. And so that's why I'm proposing that we have our wedding on a plantation. We want that specific message to be conveyed. We want a lot of symbolism in this wedding. And we will also have every single service person be a black man named Uncle Tom while we do it. And they will refer to us all as Mazza and Yussa and Nosa. Will be the only things they're allowed to say. That's how we're going to do our wedding. And I can't wait to marry you under these beautiful circumstances. Is that the conversation that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively had? That they're apologizing for? Because outside of that, what reconciliation do they need? What we saw at the time was a wedding venue on Pinterest. Oh my God! The racism! What we saw after was a place built upon devastating tragedy. Now, I mean, this is why you don't talk to the police, Ryan Reynolds. Did you not know that the plantation would be built on devastating tragedy? Like, ultimately, I just had no idea. See, Boone Hall. Boone Hall Plantation. One of America's oldest working plantations, continually growing crops for over 320 years. The antebellum era plantation is located in Mount Pleasant, Charleston County, South Carolina, and listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Plantation includes a large colonial revival plantation house, completed in 1936, that replaced the lost original house of the site, a number of slave cabins or cottages, which were occupied by sharecroppers well into the 20th century, several hopefully all of the wedding guests got to stay a night in the slave cottages. Several flower gardens, and the historic 1743 Avenue of Oaks, an alley of over a kilometer along the entire drive up to the house, planted with 44 southern live oaks either side. So, so we have this thing, slavery. They don't even really talk about the slavery other than mentioning the slave cabins and the fact that it was a plantation. Good Lord. The ownership of the plantation continued in the Boone family until it was sold in 1811. So there you go. Oh boy. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know anything about this place. But if I saw it, I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I don't think slaves built the house in 1936. So, you know, that was post-slavery. It still operates. It's still a plantation. Do you guys know that not all plantations are done? Like, plantation doesn't mean slave. I don't know if people know that. There are, like, for example, if you go to Hawaii, you can go to plantations in Hawaii. It's just a place that grows a bunch of different things. Anyway, let's see. Making such a mistake, he said, can, quote, cause you to shut down, or it can reframe things and move you into action. Taking action is exactly what the couple has done. In June, they donated $200,000 to the No, We Don't Defend Anybody NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund, following a reported pair of $1 million donations he and Lively made last year to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund and the Young Center for Immigrant Children's Rights. Apologize with money. Just please don't cancel us. Please don't cancel us. We'll never be done. Notice the trigger, right? We can never reconcile it. Next year, guess what? You're getting another check. June. This must have been a slow year from COVID. $1 million last year, but only $200,000 this year. COVID's hitting the Reynolds Lively household hard, I guess. According to Fast Company, Reynolds is reluctant to talk about their social justice support. You know, I'm reluctant to talk about it. I mean, I just gave $1 million to the NAACP and then another $200,000 to the NAACP. And then I gave $1 million to the Young Center for Immigrant Children's Rights. And I'm so deeply and unreservedly and impossible to reconcile sorry about my wedding at a plantation that had nothing to do with slavery. But I know it hurt all black people. I just don't like to talk about it, though. I don't want to talk about my radical stances on social justice. It's a call to action when you remember these things, but I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about that. Let's not talk about what I'm going to donate next year. Let's not talk about how much I can. You know, I don't like to talk about my favorite Marvel movie being Black Panther. Man, I don't want to talk about it at all. Oh, whew. Please don't ask me any more questions. Please don't let me apologize anymore in this article. I don't want to do that. Oh, God. Quote, in part because he worries that white celebrities too often drown out non-white voices, even if that's not their intention. Have another million. But he is more willing to discuss how his production company and marketing agency, Maximum Effort, is doing its part through diversity hiring and providing employees with equality in the company. Come on, Ryan! CNN! Look, I don't want to talk about all the great things that I'm doing, but what I would like to talk about is all the great things I'm doing through my marketing and production company. For fuck's sake. Representation and diversity need to be completely immersive, Reynolds said. Like, it needs to be embedded at the root of storytelling, and that's in both marketing and Hollywood. When you add perspective and insight that isn't your own, you grow, and you grow your company too. Oh, guys, I think I've picked the second movie for tonight. Lone Wolf McQuade, and then I think we should do Van Wilder, right? in honor of Ryan Reynolds, we should do Van Wilder as the second movie. remember before Ryan Reynolds became a little bitch. Oh my God. Oh, look, what is this guy's face? Oh, that's Hugh Jackman. You look terrible. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are calling a truce for a good cause. I'm sorry, I have to delve into this. What were they feuding? Their fake feud on hold for a greater good. So this is April 21st. Remember, he doesn't like talking about this. So what's going on here? The Deadpool and Wolverine stars who've taken shots at each other in videos and tweets over the years have decided to call a truce for coronavirus relief efforts. Oh my God, fuck off. Why are people like this? Why? Oh. Okay. Look, we can't have fun on the internet anymore. Coronavirus. Okay. All right. The next story I've got is actually, this one's a little more legal themed, and that's why I saved it for last. It's got a little bit more, bit more stuff to it. Let's see. Oh, wait. Can I click on anything today? Oh, wait. Okay, so this is the Neil Young story. But before that, did you guys see the explosion in Beirut? Did you guys see the explosion in Beirut today? This thing was crazy. I'm going to show it real quick. It looks like maybe a fireworks factory or something blew up. Here. There's a couple different angles of it. So let's this one will show a couple different angles, and then I've got another one to pull up in just a second that my dad sent me. It's up to 70. It's like 78 dead and 4,000 injured. A bunch of ammonium nitrate. That's what they used to blow up the Fed building. What Timothy McVeigh used to blow up the Fed building in Oklahoma City, if I remember right. So here we go. Yeah, you might be distressed or whatever. Okay, hold on. I need volume. You guys need volume. I need volume. Volume posting the interwebs. Here we go. All right. Look at that! Whoa! Boom! Oh, that building next to it just got annihilated. Look at the sky disappear as the heat just pushes away all of the cloud cover. Let me find the other one I've got. This was... I saw this, I was like, dang, that's crazy. This one's a little longer. And, you can kind of see why it kind of looks like fireworks in it. Just a second here. This has nothing to do with legal splaining or anything. I just thought it was, interesting to watch. You don't get to see stuff like this very often. See, it looks kind of like fireworks. There's a bunch of sparkly crap happening. Incoherent mumbling. That was the subtitle there. A bunch of explosives cooking off. Uh-oh. So anyway, I don't know how that guy turned out. But he got like blown off. He got like blown off his feet. And it's a huge blast. I mean, that's crazy. So anyway, I saw that today. I had no idea. Like I said, I was driving all day, so I didn't know any of this stuff was happening. And then I got home and it's like, hey, did you see this? No. Took a look. Woo! Guida says, the guy told me it was just a strobe firework. Yeah. The building that I allegedly blew up and allegedly in Beirut, allegedly that was caused by an alleged strobe firework by a man in a full mask. He was also quoting the Torah. No, that's a joke. That's a joke. Someone said it was Mossad in the chat. That was the joke to follow that up. So settle down. Settle down, YouTube. I, for one, love my Israeli overlords. All right. Let's do... Just another mostly peaceful protest headed by BLM. Okay, so here's what we've got. Neil Young sues Donald Trump campaign for copyright infringement. And I'm sorry for all the Trump news lately. I don't like political seasons. I really hate presidential election season. Everybody gets so polarizing. You can't make as many jokes because everybody's like, well, everybody's mad all the time, and I hate that. Families are arguing, friends are arguing, friendships end. It's every 4 years our country just goes to shit, and it sucks. But he's a source of like constant legal issues because people are so he's so polarizing that everybody is suing over everything. All right. So he sues Donald Trump campaign for copyright infringement. Legendary musician alleges that Trump lacked license to play Rockin' in a Free World and Devil's Sidewalk. I'm not familiar with the tune. At a campaign rally in Tulsa. Neil Young to Donald Trump, not so fast on Rockin' in the Free World. On Tuesday, the legendary musician filed a copyright infringement lawsuit against Trump's campaign for playing his songs at campaign rallies. This complaint is not intended to disrespect... This is my favorite part of this complaint right now. This complaint is not intended to disrespect the rights and opinions of American citizens who are free to support the candidate of their choosing, states the complaint, which we'll look at in just a second, filed in New York federal court. However, plaintiff in good conscience cannot allow his music to be used as a theme song for a divisive, un-American campaign of ignorance and hate. Neil Young is such an asshole that he couldn't go a whole thought without reversing himself. Look, you can back whoever you want, you ignorant, hating monsters. Young alleges that Trump's campaign lacks license to publicly perform the compositions entitled Rockin' in the Free World and Devil's Sidewalk. Musician notes that Trump has used his music for years, dating back to the last campaign, and played both songs at his rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma on June 20th. Young has been musing. Remember when liberals liked the United States? Let me be clear. When liberal artists liked the United States, now they can't, right? It's weird. You can be a liberal and like the United States, but you can't be a liberal artist and like the United States. Like that, you have to not. That's a weird disconnect, in my opinion. But Young has been musing about suing Trump since his first presidential campaign, but he had a change of heart after previously being told the campaign venues had obtained public performance licenses from ASCAP and BMI. We'll talk about these in a minute. But as more and more musicians objected to politicians using their music, these performance rights organizations began allowing songwriters to exclude their music for political use. Now, ASCAP and BMI warn candidates that a performance license might not cover all claims by a musician. Whether or not that is allowed under the ASCAP and BMI consent decrees, the long-lasting rules for music licensing that emanated from a DOJ antitrust suit in the 1940s, is a subject that is yet to be explored in the court. So this is a new court action. This is a novel action before the court. It will be a case of first impression. Very, very interesting stuff. And we'll talk about why this all matters in a minute. Young is now willing to test out the notion that Trump is committing copyright infringement and demands that Trump be enjoined from further playing his songs. Young, represented by Robert Besser, also demands statutory damages. If you watch my Hamley video, you know what that is. Often, copyright suits against politicians settle before judgment, as the legal process is slow and the end of campaign season obliterates the incentives for the parties to play out a case. As a result, although politicians have found limited success in the courtroom, there remains a lot of ambiguity about copyright in the political context. I guess that's the end of the story because it now goes to something else. Let's take a look at the complaint. Oh God, it's up on Neil Young's own website. Gross. Oh God, I can't even get rid of all these ads. Ugh. Ugh. Oh God, look at the ads Neil Young has. Ugh. Ah. Hold on. There we go. None of that nonsense. None of this hippie crap on my screen. Okay, so here's the deal. He's alleging copyright infringement by the president because he's saying that the president lacked a license. Well, interestingly, the presidential campaign, more importantly, the venues of the presidential campaign do have licenses to play music. And those licenses are acquired from, what are they called? It's ASCAP and BMI. They're the two big repositories of music licenses. And you can go on there as a venue, and it is the venue, and purchase the public performance license. And if you, as a venue, purchase a public performance license, then at your venue, in a public performance, you can have music playing live. Now, you can't broadcast it and stuff like that. That's a different license that has to be done. But you can broadcast music over the loudspeakers. You see this at basketball games, baseball games, football games. You see it in bars. You see it all over the place. If your venue has an audience of people and you're playing music, you have to have a license to do so. Otherwise, you're infringing on the rights, where the thought is, otherwise, you should just hire the musician to come play their music, right? That's the right that they would have, is them to play the music. Well, if you don't want to do that because it'd be impractical to hire like 700 bands for one night worth of music, you just buy a license to these license repositories, pay a fixed rate, and you can always play anything on the list. Now, both of these are held at ASCAP. They're not held at BMI. These two particular songs, Rockin' in the Free World and the Devil's Lane or whatever it was, Devil's Dang it. Devil's Sidewalk are both held at ASCAP, not at BMI. But I mean, they're basically the same thing. Oh, we got a chat here. Joshua says, look at this timesofisrael.com. IDF releases photos of alleged Hezbollah missile sites near the Beirut airport. That article is from September 2018. This was an attack, not an accident. Well, Beirut is investigating. So they have said that they will be determining who is responsible and going after them. And they've committed like $66 million or something to that purpose. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. So here is the Neil Young versus Donald Trump. Suit is for copyright infringement. Complaint is not intended to disrespect the rights and opinions of American citizens. Yeah. I love it. Right in it's in the same paragraph. It's in the same paragraph. He disrespects the rights and opinions of American citizens right here. Divisive, un-American campaign of ignorance and hate. Can you just not virtue signal in your legal pleadings? Just try it. Just try writing the legal pleadings. Because it kind of looks like you're doing this for publicity rather than because you have a valid cause of action. And you don't actually want the judge thinking that. That's an important thing. You don't want your judge thinking that this is a political stunt when you're using the copyright system. To be very, very clear, if there is one legal system you don't want to come across as abusing, it is the copyright system. This is one of the particular systems that is created solely to protect the rights of creators, and ancillary concerns other than the specific rights of the creators can look a lot like bad faith very, very quickly. Because the copyright system is such a strong protection, there's a check on that by saying, you better be doing this for legitimate purposes. So, court has subject matter jurisdiction because the copyright action is going to be brought in federal court. Parties, who cares who the parties are? It's Trump. It's Trump and Neil Young. Musical compositions were and are publicly performed at public events, conducted, controlled, managed, supervised, and arranged for by the campaign. Facts. Plaintiff is the owner of the copyrights in the musical compositions Rockin' in the Free World and Devil's Sidewalks. Registration numbers blah and blah, respectively, the songs. Attached here to as exhibits A and B are true and correct copies of the Copyright Office records concerning those registrations. Campaign has publicly played both Rockin' in the Free World and Devil's Sidewalk. I actually like Rockin' in the Free World. I had to hear it a lot as a kid, and it's kind of stuck with me. Numerous times at rallies and political events for the entertainment and amusement of those attending those rallies and political events. Campaign played both songs at a rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma on June 20th. The campaign does not now have, and did not at the time of Tulsa rally, have a license or plaintiff's permission to play the two songs at any public political event. This will be a point of contention right here. This will be a point of contention because if he has if the venues have the public performance license, if the campaign has purchased a license, then they might actually have a license. Plaintiff has continuously and publicly objected to the use by the campaign of the songs, and this is great. You can object all day. If they have a license, it doesn't matter. First such objection was in connection with Trump's playing of Rockin' in the Free World at his June 16th, 2015 announcement that he was running for president. In response, the campaign issued a statement stating that it had procured a license to do so, thus acknowledging that it knew a license is required. Campaign has willfully ignored plaintiffs telling it not to play the songs and willfully proceeded to play the songs despite its lack of a license and despite its knowledge that a license is required to do so. I mean, we'll have to see, right? We'll have to see if they have a license. Maybe they didn't purchase one this year. That would be weird, though, because they know they're going to get hit with it. He, in fact, told them last time. So, The acts of the campaign in Does 1 through 5 constitute copyright infringement. Campaign in Does 1 through 5 acted willfully and in conscious disregard for plaintiff's rights. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's infringements, plaintiff has suffered and continues to suffer great injury, which cannot be accurately computed unless the court restrains defendants from the further commission of such acts. Plaintiff will suffer irreparable injury for which plaintiff is without an adequate remedy at law. Plaintiff is entitled to an award of statutory damages in the maximum amount allowed for willful copyright infringement. So they are asking that defendants and all persons acting under the direction, control, or authority of defendants be enjoined preliminarily and permanently from publicly performing the songs or any musical compositions owned by plaintiff, and from causing or permitting the songs to be publicly performed at public events conducted, controlled, managed, supervised, or arranged for by the campaign, and or aiding or abetting the public performances of the songs in any such place. The court can't really do this because if they're able to procure a license for it, then they would be able to play it. So this is performing songs or any musical compositions owned by plaintiff. But if plaintiff licenses through a house, and here it is, by the way. I just have Rockin' in the Free World up, but Devil's Sidewalk looks the same. It's the ASCAP musical repository. Total current ASCAP share 100%. Rockin' in the Free World. ASCAP controls 50% of the writers, writers and publishers. So they have both. Silver Fiddle Music is the publisher. Neil Young being a writer. Here are all the different performers who have done it or whatever. So all of these. Neil Young, Young Neil, Wallflowers, U2, all of these people, the license extends to all of these performers' versions of the song and any of these alternate titles that may be used. So ASCAP owns this, owns the right to sell licenses for it. So if the Trump campaign bought this, they will have a very strong argument that they, in fact, do have a license. Let's see. That the defendants be ordered to pay such statutory damages as the court shall appear, as to the court shall appear just as specified in 17 USC 504C1. That is not more than $150,000, nor less than $750 for each infringement. Defendants be ordered to pay plaintiff his costs of suit herein, including reasonable attorney's fees. That's going to be a lot more. Depending on how this goes, that this will probably get up into $300,000 to $500,000 range, because he's fighting the president of the United States on a complex issue, case of first impression. His lawyers are probably not going to be cheap as well. This will be an expensive suit, so this would be the win. For such other relief as the court may deem just and equitable. Ivan Saperstein and Robert Besser are his attorneys. So we've got Silverstein and Saperstein. Can you not be memes? Can lawyers not be memes for 5 seconds, please? Someone in the chat asked what damages. Statutory damages and copyright actions are specifically, it's whatever the court deems just between $750 up to $150,000. It's up to the court to decide. It's up to them to make out what those statutory what the statutory damages should be. It's not actually based on economic loss, though. And this is, as I talk about in the Hambly video, statutory damages and copyright exist for a couple reasons. If you are choosing to monetize or not monetize your content, and if the infringing party is choosing to monetize or not monetize your content that they have stolen, creates variance in how much economic damages occur, right? Like, let's say you write a song that only you perform, that you never sell, you never want to sell it ever, and someone steals that song from you, well, you're still harmed, but what is the economic value of that song? You don't know. It's impossible to know what the economic value of that song is. Now, if you're just a guy on the street, it might be worth nothing. But say you're, what are the kids listening to these days? Tupac or Aaliyah or Biggie Smalls, for example, and you're creating new music in 2020. Elvis, for example, also creating new music in 2020. You're a established artist in the industry, and you go ahead and create a song that is meant to be, it's not meant to be monetized for what, maybe you write it for your friend or something. That would be a highly, highly valuable song, even though there's no economic value attached to it. So that would be the reason statutory damages exist. Just because you can't articulate what damages there are because there's no loss or gain for the other party. Or yeah, how about that? For example, someone steals your music and just plays it broadcasting, running around town or whatever, blaring it in a public performance, but that they do for free. And they don't count how many people come to it. How do you calculate the economic damages? You don't know how many people listen to it. You don't know the number of sales that would be lost from it. You don't know anything like that. So how do you start to formulate, even if you sell it, if they don't sell it, but just distribute it without your consent, they're still stealing from you. And that's an opportunity cost for you. You're losing out on money you could have otherwise made. But without a tabulation on it, you wouldn't know how much. So that's another place where statutory damages come in and make sense. And that's the important part about registering a copyright. If you don't register a copyright, you will never get statutory damages. That's part of it. You have to have the registration of the copyright to be entitled to those statutory damages. And, this is, if you remember a long time ago, Matt Fury, the creator of Pepe the Frog, sued Alex Jones over Alex Jones's use of Pepe the Frog. One of the problems is that the registrations, if I remember right, Matt Fury registered copyrights on the specific, on some specific works that he said that Alex Jones was infringing upon, but those registrations might have come after the infringement had occurred, and therefore statutory damages were really in question at that point. And that's probably why he settled for something like $25, or I think it was 25 grand or 15 grand or something like that. Some small amount that Alex Jones ended up paying him off to go away. Well, that was alleged. It was alleged, but it was likely a pretty low settlement. But anyway, so that's what damages. There's when you register a copyright, there's a statute, a law that gives you a presumed amount of damages between $750,000 and $150,000. And the things they're going to do is talk about, like, how widely was it spread? How marketable is this thing? And they're going to come to a decision. These would be very valuable. I would think these would be very valuable damages for Neil Young. I don't know if they're $150,000 valuable, but Trump rallies are well attended. They're highly charged events. They're publicized. There's going to be a lot going on there, and that's a lot of infringements happening at once. So, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. The problems in this case are that the theory is that the license allows the artist to not consent, presumably allows the artist to not consent to political rallies or something like that. But we don't know if that's a blanket like any political rallies or just this person's political rallies. I don't know if it's specific. I don't know if the actual license agreement predates their withdrawal of consent. We don't know anything about actual license agreement the particular venue or the campaign held for the performance or for the use of these performances. And so until we start to see the counter arguments, we're not really going to know enough of the facts to see what those counter arguments are going to be. I mean, hypothetically, the Trump campaign could just come out and say, yeah, actually, we've got this license. We bought it on this date. We were not informed of any specific problems with this. And in fact, the license itself does not actually inform us which works we are not purchasing the rights to. We're obviously a political campaign like that. You see the problem, right? If ASCAP sells a license, and when you buy a license, you buy the license for the catalog. You buy the license for the whole catalog of ASCAP music. So all of this list of songs that exists, you're buying a license to play them whenever, in whatever order you want. All right? So once they buy that, are they then going to say that individual songs are not included in this license? And if they're going to say that, are they going to lay out what those songs are? How would the venue know? How would the campaign know? How would anybody actually know what songs they're not allowed to play unless they had some affirmative information ahead of time? And if they are buying access to the catalog, is it discounted for songs that are removed from the catalog for political purposes? These are the real questions that are going to be raised in this lawsuit, and it should be very interesting. As it picks up, I may try and bring on an IP expert to talk about it, but it's new. Like I said, it's a new lawsuit with a new issue. So we'll see how it goes. But that's the news stories I've got for you tonight, guys. So this live stream is going to be a little shorter than normal, but that's okay. We can end a little bit early. We've still got some chats to go through, which we'll do in just a little bit. Trying to sort out the rest of the week. Drexel is coming out tomorrow. So he will likely be on the show tomorrow. On Thursday, I believe I will be doing a show with Az, heel versus babyface. And it should be on this channel, and it will probably be during the daytime. So I want to go ahead and announce that ahead of time so people are prepared for it. I will try as soon as we have worked out the actual schedule for that. I will try and announce it and give people prep time for it. But we'll be doing a painting and shit posting stream. We'll be painting some minis and just having a good time talking about whatever. So it'll be a fun show. I really enjoyed being on his show. Other than that, I'm not positive what else is going on this week. Like I said, Drexel will be here for the rest of the week, so he may be on a couple shows. He may be on tomorrow. He may be on Thursday night. He may be on Friday night. We'll see. Cooking stream when, Corono? I don't know, man. I wanted to do it yesterday. And then I was going to do it today, but then I had to take a trip to the cities, which took my entire day. It was not planned. But I'm going to make fried cabbage on the next cooking stream. It should be soon. So, we'll see. We'll see. And I do plan on doing a cooking stream or two from down in Florida as well. So, and if you've never had fried cabbage, it sounds gross until you realize what it is. Fried cabbage is a southern dish, so don't get your panties in a bunch over the sound that there's cabbage in it. You take bacon and sausage, and you cook bacon and sausage down and render out a bunch of grease. And then you add cabbage to it, and you fry the cabbage in bacon grease. and then you add some like peppers to it, some bell peppers to it. So what you get is bacon flavored cabbage. And it's really, really good. You do not boil the cabbage before you fry it. No. It is delicious. And yeah, Lady Raggets hates cabbage. She likes fried cabbage. It doesn't taste like cabbage at all. It's just, it's a Southern dish. So it's just full of diabetes. We'll cook it in honor of Wilford Brimley, who probably just ate, only fried cabbage for the last years of his life. But yeah, so once I nail down that cooking stream, I will put it out. Maybe I can do it tomorrow. I've got live chat Wednesday tomorrow for subscribers on Patreon and Subscribestar, as well as any super lawyers on the YouTube stuff. So it is we will have live chat Wednesday tomorrow. Hopefully it will not be cut short by a flat tire from Lady Rackets this time. But yeah. And I will try and do, if Drexel's up to it. I don't think he'll be out in time for live chat Wednesday, but I will try and do a live chat makeup from last week at some point with him in the Discord as well. Brian Natarin says, "Hey Nick, sorry I missed the stream, but I was wondering if you and Lady Rackets would be interested in doing a relationship stream. I would love to hear y'all's opinion on how to maintain a healthy relationship." I would like to do one. I don't know. I think she would be up for it, but I'd have to ask her. And I think what she'd say is that she would just stab me if I did anything wrong, like a proper lady or whatever. No, I would be up for it. It would be a fun stream. I always like having her on, but she's not the biggest fan of being on the camera, so I have to ask nicely. We'll see. But all right, guys. Well, let's read the rest of these chats, and then we will go over to Twitch. Like I said, it's a short night tonight, mostly because I didn't have a ton of time to do the show prep, but I know to gather more stories, and there really aren't any massive legal issues that I'm looking at right now. I'm sure there's some out there, but there aren't any massive ones that I've particularly seen, other than this stupid Cheyenne River Sioux tribe versus Trump, which is pissing me off quite a bit. Other than that, but yeah, tomorrow should be a more full show. And of course, if Drexel's on, it's going to be like 5 hours. So anyway, but yeah, since I was driving all day, I just wasn't able to get much more together, but I wanted to still put on a show. I know people like to have something to listen to. So all right, let's do this. Morty J says, "Any chance of getting Mark Kern for a follow-up on his game, especially with the recent Blizzard employee payroll leaks?" Yeah, I would love to get Mark Kern back on. I always enjoy talking to him. Really interesting guy. I'd love to get his impression on some goings on. So I will reach out to Mark and see about getting him back on a show. Also, I've been connected with Douglas Ernst, and he said he would do a show at some point, which I think that would be interesting to talk about crowdfunding, to talk about comics and creativity and all of that stuff. Also, I got connected to a lawyer. He's a tax attorney, but I don't think he practices much. Maybe he does. Anyway, Law Twitter found this guy and just eviscerated him. And I saw a lot of the same names. Do you know why I saw the same names that hound and hassle me? Because they're so goddamn thirsty. Because they tagged me into the thread that I don't care about. It had nothing to do with me. It's just some random guy that they were calling like a pedophile or something. And then they tagged me into the thread. And I'm like, what the I don't care about you. I literally never want to see or talk to these losers ever. Like, they're unimportant to me. So they couldn't go. They couldn't have a conversation without bringing me into it. And so I muted it. But I told the guy, I'm like, listen, you're talking to some severely mentally deranged people, and they will never leave you alone. So you might maybe like don't do it because you're going to go crazy. But that guy said he would be willing to come on a show too. And I don't know anything about him other than what his Twitter bio says. So maybe he's a nice guy. Maybe he's a weirdo. I don't know. But he is apparently some sort of attorney, or he has a law degree or a law license or something. But I think he sits on a school board in New York. And that's probably why they hate him, right? He probably said something that was wrong, or whatever. But I don't know what we'd talk about or anything, but he did say he'd come on the show. So I'll screen him and see if he's a interesting guest. Maybe he'd be an interesting guest because he's nice and interesting, or maybe he'd be an interesting guest because he's crazy. You never know. It's the internet. So we'll see. I've got a couple guests. I've been hesitant to schedule guests with my Florida trip coming up, mainly because I'm going to still do shows and guest shows and stuff in Florida, but I don't know 100% when I'm going to actually get there. Because I don't know 100% when I'm leaving and all of that. But I will keep everybody informed about when we'll be in various places, so that and hopefully we'll do some guest shows over this month as well. But no sauce. We're not doing Kid with the Golden Arms tonight. I thought we'd do Van Wilder for the second movie tonight. It's either Van Wilder or Escape 2000 for the second movie tonight. Tonight's first watch party is Lone Wolf McQuade at the request of Phoenix Lord Asserman, which is a Chuck Norris movie. All right, let's do this. Crusader Saracen says, if seeing educators seriously say that 2 + 2 = 5 and that they intend to teach this to your children to decolonize math, and you don't pull them out of public school, then you are willingly condemning your child to a bleaker future and don't love them. Yeah, I'm with it. Talon Seer says, late and Ron's remote tray. Rude. Eggs Benedict says, a Spaceballs watch party must be done sometime. We did it the other day. No one important says, I always have this pet peeve of VAs just owning the characters they voice. You know, that's a character I voice versus that's my character / that's me. Yeah. Well, I have a pet peeve of VAs existing. Jillian Seed says, Nick wrote you in for judge for my lib shit county. Thank you. Oh, I hope I win. Brian Dewig, welcome to super lawyer status. Make sure you check the community tab and filter for super lawyer only posts to find the way into the Discord. From it, Silverhawk 2016, Trump is like you and Ty losing before it even begins. Oh my goodness. Kuro Mythos says she's a mole. Rhinosaurus Rex says, anyone else? Oh, is that chick from CNN? That might have been the shadow of her, like, mic. She might have had a mic, because it kind of looked like a shadow from the lighting in the mic, but maybe not. Might have been just a giant mole. She might just be hideous. Let's see. Rhinosaurus Rex says, anyone else get the email today about the Google Plus class action lawsuit? It's apparently legitimate and allows you to file a claim. Is it worth doing so? I didn't get a notice, which is weird because I have Google Plus, or had it. I didn't use it much. Maybe that's the problem. But I did. Someone forwarded it to me. So I have to look at the terms and see if I qualify. I don't know if it's worth doing it. You may get like $2 or something. You'll have to see. Dom H. Null, Dominol, 1989 says, in the likely case Biden loses, the left would make a complete 180 and blame their loss on mail-in voting. Oh yeah, they've already done it. Can I find this? Let's see. Here we go. Can't make this up. Can't make it up. Go away. I'll show you. I saw this the other day. I didn't read through it all, but look at this. Charles M. Blow, column. Trump forecasts his own fraud. The election is in danger of being stolen by Donald Trump. Trump is a win at all costs kind of operator. For him, the rules are like rubber, not fixed but bendable. This is just written on August 3rd. So, yesterday. All structures, laws, conventions, norms exist for others. Those not slick and sly enough to evade them. Those not craven enough to break them. Trump is showing anyone who is willing to see it in every way possible that he is willing to do anything to win re-election and will cry foul if he doesn't. A scenario that could cause an unprecedented natural crisis. Trump has been on a rampage over voting by mail. Last week he tweeted blah, blah, blah. Setting aside the fact that Trump has no power to delay the election, he is clearly seeking to undermine the legitimacy of the outcome should he lose. If he wins, he'll say he did so despite fraud. If he loses, he'll claim he did so because of it. In Trump's world, he's never to blame for failure. He's the best, the greatest ever, blah, blah, blah. At the same time, Trump is attacking voting by mail. He's undermining the mechanism by which it would be done. The United States Postal Service. Oh my God! Never mind. Don't you dare let us vote by mail. It's over. It's over. These people can't even deliver bills to me without having them thrown in like a pressure washer. This is fueling concerns by many that the Postal Service is being damaged precisely because of Trump opposition to mail-in voting. As Barack Obama said in his eulogy for John Lewis, stop. Trump is afraid of what the data say. 83% of the Democrats would favor their state allowing all voters to vote by mail. Trump wants to suppress the votes of those opposed to him because he fears there won't be enough votes in support of him. Let's see. I think mail-in voting is going to rig the election. I really do. Wallace pressed and asked Trump specifically if Trump was suggesting that he might not accept the election results. Trump said, I have to see. Anyway, here we go. This is it. They've already done it. Put nothing past Trump, not even the destruction of the American electoral process. Just about everything that was said about Donald Trump and stomping on freedom, just about everything that was claimed that he would definitely do, he didn't do. The only thing they claimed about Donald Trump that he subjectively did was be an idiot. He said some dumb stuff. He made some crass statements. He kind of looked like a buffoon from time to time. That's about it. Other than that, he didn't arrest a bunch of journalists. Obama did. More than any president before him. I think more than every president before him. He didn't suppress the First Amendment. He hasn't actually done any of this stuff. He didn't get us into a war. Like, he didn't do any of the stuff that they said he was going to do. Like, we're supposed to be at war with China and Russia right now because of Trump. But he didn't do that. Hell, even the military strikes that he did, it was less than Obama did. Anyway, just annoying. Ulash1 says, which is scarier for the Civil War? Antifa or Boogaloo Boys? I don't know. I'd be more scared of Antifa than Boogaloo Boys, personally. Because I think Boogaloo Boys would at least LARP at having a strategy, whereas Antifa is opposed to centralization of ideas. So Boogaloo Boys, like, I know some guys who talk like about wanting the Civil War and all this stuff, and then they go into their like military strategies on how they do it, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Antifa, I don't think does that in an organized way. I think it's just a wave of people lashing out. That to me is more terrifying than strategic, even LARPing strategic people. So For me personally, I don't know about for anybody else. Rhinosaurus Rex says, I have Democrat and even normie associates that actually believe Trump is following Putin's footsteps to make himself the eternal leader of the country. Yeah. Yes, everybody's going to do. Everybody will just fall in line. Everybody will. Like, that's another thing. Let's say Trump wins the election and, he's going to be the eternal leader in the next election. The person would have to accept the shadow puppet of Trump. Like, they would have to accept his, and they would have no reason to. It's weird. Bellow Triggerfish. No, Antifa doesn't have a strategy. That's what I said. That lack of strategy is what's terrifying to me. Eric S. Obama and Bush killed American citizens using drone strikes. The difference is Obama tried to. Bush did it by accident. Well, accidentally got him there. Shoot. Oh, man. Let's see. Diamond Hall, 1989 says, I live in Seattle. No one here likes how the city is run. People like the cops, but since they're blockheads, they will still vote for all of them. Yep. Of course they will. Apache Chief says they could renew their vows elsewhere to cure their insufferable white guilt. No, they can't. The only thing they could do a suicide pact, I guess. That would help. That would help them do it. Literal Gamer says, hey, Nick, did you hear about BLM extorting businesses in Louisville? They went after the Cubans. No. I mean, I think I heard a little bit about it, but nothing specific. I don't know if I'd go after Cubans, but Crusher Saiyan Corp says, Nostradamus, in a year of the double digits, a queen will rise by the name of Corona and devastate the entire world. Is that a real Nostradamus? That's great. I hope that's real. Yo Mom is my mom says, Monica Rial caused that explosion. She was there and tripped and fell. Oh my gosh. Oh, it reminds me of the butt drop that people keep posting in the Discord. That's what someone needs to do. Discord, if someone has not taken that slow motion butt drop murder that keeps getting posted every live chat Wednesday, and have the chick land and have that explosion in Beirut as the result, if someone hasn't done that by tomorrow, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to be thoroughly disappointed if that doesn't exist. Corono, you're picturing it now. It needs to happen. It needs to happen. The Atomisk says, I heard super ninja technology in Q's voice. I will never be able to remove Q's context from ninja. Never. Nova Zero says, did you just say your wife will peg you if you do something wrong? No, stab with a knife. I mean, you're doing everything right if you're not Preston. Oh, damn. Sharon Young says, I am seriously ticked. Not tickled. I'm seriously ticked at that guy dissing Boone Hall, one of our beautiful plantations, for woke points while dismissing their role in preservation of black gula culture. Rude. I don't know anything about Boone Hall. I just know that they don't have slaves there anymore. And haven't for like a long time. Probably since it was abolished. I'm guessing just since then, at least. And that the people who are currently involved at Boone Hall have no particularly love or affiliation of slavery. I'm going to guess. But, you know, that's, what do you do? How do you deal with these people? Christopher Nelson says, Thomas Rockledge. Let's see. Let's take a look at this news story real quick. We got time. We're early. Here we go. Oh, we're back. We're back. Okay, we're back. We're back, guys. So here is we're about to find out why this guy is horrible. Very important. So here he is. Here's Thomas. And notice he has a black child with him. All right. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Oh my God, look at this lady's eyes. New York Community Education Council member calls colleague racist for holding a black baby. Well, what should he have done? Dropped him? Should he drop the black baby? Would that be less racist? Rachel Broshi, a member of New York City's Community Education Council District 2, had an interesting thought on racism during a council meeting. She told a fellow council member, Thomas Rockledge, "It hurts people when they see a white man bouncing a brown baby on their lap and they don't know the context." Jesus Christ, what? What is wrong? No. Notice all of the black people on this board, right? You see all of the black people involved in this right now. I'm sure you can tell that you can see all of the black people there. This happened during a Zoom meeting for the council where Rockledge's friend's nephew repeatedly climbed into his lap. Rockledge tried to ask what was hurtful about the situation and was told by Broshi and several other members of the council that the image of a white man holding a black child was inherently racist. What? Why? When he asked him to explain, every single person refused. Brashi's response was telling him to read a book. Oh, of course it was. How perfectly woke is that? Maybe you should read a book. Maybe you should read a book. Fuck me. The meeting, which was about furthering integration of the schools, descended into chaos even more when Rockledge called for increasingly early integration efforts in the schools and stated that his living room was integrated right now. Okay. Yep. I think having this guy on sounds great. I already like him. This guy, here's this guy pushing for more racial diversity in schools right now. He's like, no, we should more integration, more racial diversity in schools. And they're like, no, you racist. But look, I got integration right here, baby. He was, of course, referring to his friend, the uncle of the baby in question. Council member Emily Helston went on for several minutes calling Rockledge a racist with malicious intent. Other council members even accused him of minimizing slavery. I would like to know how having my friend's nephew on my lap was racist. Read a book. Read White Fragility. Fuck me. We should do a read through of White Fragility. Would that be good? That'd be fun, like bonus content or something. We can't make this stuff up. After the meeting, Rockledge, who volunteers for this position, was the target of allegations of racism on social media. He is using his unwanted notoriety in a positive way, however, by helping to raise money for the little boy who is exploited by the SJWs so that he can grow up to get an education. If you watch my interview and would like to help families that need real help instead of a word salad from so-called social justice warriors, click below and donate to my friend's daughter and nephew that were exploited by the SJWs. Thank you. So he's got a college fund going. Dear Lord. So, I'll skip that. Mr. Rockledge has changed his intro on his Twitter account to the following: parent, tax attorney, Community Education Council District 2. Also, waiting to be canceled by idiots who do not know me or anything I stand for. # cancel Karen. Rockledge does not appear to be a man who's going to back down and cow. Yeah. I guess we gotta have this guy on now. I didn't know the story. That's brilliant. Idiots. They also, by the way, in pure law Twitter fashion, the guy with the like hairline that is running farther away than, I don't even know how to say it. He's like EDS or something. EBS is his Twitter name. And he's got a picture of him as a smug asshole, which is every picture of him, I'm guessing. But as his Twitter profile picture, he has suggested that Thomas Rockledge should not be allowed to have children. That he is a danger to his own children, and that I think EBS maybe. That he's a danger to his own children. His children should be taken away by Child Protective Services. Because law Twitter are unimportant twats. Like, that's why. That's who they are. That's who they are. These people act important and desperately want to convince the world that they are. They're awful, awful people. So, it's that's why. Let's see. I'm gonna get this wrong, but Izist Donikdom says SJW commandment: Thou shalt not show the graven image of a white man holding a baby with brown skin, even if they are loosely related. Like, what if he just borrowed a baby? Like, what if he was babysitting? Who knows? Like, what? Who cares? Was the baby in a shackle or something? Was it in some racially stereotypical pose? What is going on? Anyway, Darth Grumpy, welcome to lawyer status. Thank you for supporting the channel. Sprite Cola says, hey, Nick, I have 2 nephews who are of a different race than I am. Even offered to take care of them. Am I a racist if I hold them ever? Yes. Yes, you are. You must drop them. Only drop the minorities. Alex says, so Nick, are you now racist for having Drexel on stream only when I hold him on my lap? Which is on our OnlyFans page. Angry Baneling says, yes, but only if you read all of it in Kermit voice. Well, let's talk about white fragility. The white man is not quite keen on being green. Oh my God. Can't believe these people. Fordham is asshole says, it's funny, as many articles and hit pieces that come out against Trump and the voting, they sure as hell aren't acting like they're confident in Biden winning. The constant barrage of investigated truth isn't what people confident in victory do. Yeah, no kidding. Kalinka Pavlova says, it's twats like at Nikki Los. Maybe in your upside down country, on the other side of the flat earth disc, it's twats, but here in America, it's twats. So, all right, guys, that's the show for tonight. Thank you all for watching. As always, it is a honor, privilege, and pleasure. Please, if you haven't checked out the Jeremy Hambley video, go like it, watch it, share it, whatever, in that order. Like it, then watch it, then share it, then subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions about it. I try and monitor the comments throughout the day. Not perfect. It depends on how big the video gets. But I do try and read them and respond from time to time. But yeah, give it a look-see. I'll get the outro ready. Moist John says, borrowed a baby. I think you mean bought, bigot. No, I don't. No, I mean bought. Borrowed. 5-finger discount babies. Nova Zero says, nice. These SJWs go full Nazi, or in today's terms, China. So there you go. And yes, if you are in the Discord, please make sure you come to live chat Wednesday tomorrow. It may be slightly late, like 2:30, but I'm going to shoot for 2. I'm trying to make it at 2 tomorrow. I have one errand to run beforehand. I'm getting my allergy shots right before it. So you can come hear me talk about having sludge injected into my veins. But it should be, if it's not at 2, it should be pretty quickly afterwards. So, all right, guys. Oh, and if you want to join the Discord, I recommend joining on Subscribestar. I'm starting to move away from advertising Patreon because I think Patreon might be in financial trouble at some point in the near future. And I probably have another Patreon video coming up as Sargon and Lauren Southern have talked about entering the fray against Patreon. And if that happens, they could be in for a whole lot of pain. So I'll probably have a video on that coming up, but I got to get a little bit more information about it. But yes, please check out Subscribestar. It has automatic Discord access, just like Patreon does. It gets the same posts that Patreon has. And, it's a wonderful alternative, even though I think it is from China or whatever. And China is asshole. So it's an option there to go ahead and check out. And also, if you're on Patreon and want to switch over to Subscribestar, you're welcome to do that as well. All right, guys. Thanks. Make a locals page too. I don't know what that means. Talk to me about it. DM me what you mean by that. So, all right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow or tonight over on twitch.tv/Rekieta Law for the Chuck Norris watch party, followed by Van Wilder back when Ryan Reynolds wasn't a beta bitch. So here we go. Outro now. See you guys in a few. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some law-splaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an art bag, a bow, more of love rug. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the team post on Twitter as we hear law-splaining tonight. From the white shores of Nam to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we are now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. So pour out a glass for the team post on Twitter as we hear law-splaining tonight. From the white shores of Nam to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law